Welcome back, everyone, to our career mode series of NASCAR Heat 3. So we're coming off of the very first race of our first full season in the trucks, and it really could not have gone any better as we brought home the victory. So we have one race out of 23, and we have a victory. So that is going to secure our spot in the playoffs. And now we'll turn our attention to Atlanta. But the good news for us is that we have $242,000 in our bank account. So that's going to enable us to do some upgrades to the car and hopefully allow us to use maximum difficulty from this point forward, at least in nearly all the races, if not all of them. So let's go ahead and click on next race. It's going to tell us it's time to prepare for that race. So we certainly want to do that. But before we adjust our work plan, let's take a quick look at our two employees. So we've got 13 on engine, 10 on suspension. Let's go ahead and train a little bit because we want to get all the way there to $69,000 worth of training. Now, not exactly what we were hoping for out of that, but it gets us where we want to go. You can see another $108,000 to get our suspension up to 15. But again, these are costs that we're only going to have to pay one time. So now let's take a look at improving our equipment. We may not be able to get quite everything. Yes, we're going to be able to get to 85 on the suspension. So that is perfect. And let's look for the future and see what it's going to cost us for another chassis. So $61,000 is what it will cost there. And we'll have to ultimately decide, do we want to do a speedway, another speedway chassis, since so many of the tracks are considered speedways? Or do we want to try to get at least one short track? I will probably not get a super speedway chassis because they're not going to be used very much. And of course, road course chassis, we most likely will not even mess with it, given our time restrictions as we're trying to move through the different areas. So $42,219 remaining. Let's go ahead and adjust our work plan. And of course, we're going straight to 85 on both the suspension and the engine. All right, start that work plan. You can also see that I've been playing around a little bit with the paint scheme on the car, at least as much as I can. So I'm going to be playing around with that probably for the next little while in all three series as we move on. But just to give some different looks, and I really wish I could change around the scheme itself and the design, but we'll deal with what we got. So for this particular race, let's see, let's actually come back out. We're going to go legend difficulty, and we're going to do a 50% race, which means that for the first time, we'll be able to do a little bit of stage racing. These will be fairly short stages, but that's okay. The short stages mean that we're going to bunch the field back up and have some more excitement. Hopefully that excitement turns out to be good for us. So legend difficulty, 50% race, and we're going to have 3 full stages. All right, let's head to the track. All right, folks, it is time for Atlanta. Remember, 50% race, and it's going to be a 3-stage race. So we'll have some short stints and an opportunity to see what kind of speed we got and can we score any stage points, particularly in this first stage, because we're coming from the very back, about 28th, 29th, somewhere in there. I noticed a few people going to the back from the pre-race for inspection and that kind of thing. So we're a few spots in front of that, but still, we're at the very back. And so it's going to be interesting to see if we can make up any spots. You need to be in the top 10 for stage points, and I kind of doubt we're going to have anything close to top 10 speed. As you see these guys right now just blowing by us left and right. If it turns out that we just can't keep up right now with our truck in this condition, then that's okay. We'll just back out. We'll go back down to the hard mode and see if we can compete with them like that. My only hesitation for doing that is that I don't want to get into easy victories by doing that. Let's see, Quapple was getting pretty aggressive behind me, so I'm going to let him by, and let's just see if we've got any speed to keep up with even the back of the field. All right, so far it does not look like we have any speed whatsoever to keep up with them. So I tell you what, let's back out and let's try this again on hard difficulty. All right, take number 2 here at Atlanta. Let's see if we can get a truck race in. So we're going to have 3 stages. We're going to be starting from the rear on hard difficulty, and hopefully we'll be able to make our way toward the front, but not quite all the way there. Because as we've seen, our best racing is somewhere between 5th and about 15th. That seems to be our sweet spot so far. Let's see if that continues.
Car high, careful now. Easy.
All right, so as soon as we cross the start-finish line, we see that stage 1 will be 19 laps. These guys much better getting up to speed. And we should quickly reel them back in and start to make some passes, and sure enough, there we go.
Still there.
These guys are all bunched up, so they are not.
Outside. All right, clear
look out.
outside.
They are not running anywhere close, or he could just come down on us. So Coughlin decided he wanted that spot more than we did, so we're going to back off and let this play out a little bit and try not to have any more contact with the AI than we absolutely have to.
Clear all around.
I'm going to try to stick to the bottom right now, but as we've seen in the past, you can certainly go to the top side. Look at that, trying to take it 4 wide into the corner was Jennifer Jo Cobb. Well, as long as they keep running 3 wide like this, it's going to be hard for us to make up any spots. Because it doesn't really give us any options as to where to go. So we're going to have our hands full trying to score points in this first stage. All right, so we're to the inside of Jennifer Jo Cobb right now.
Outside, outside.
Out of the gas quite a bit there in turns 3 and 4.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there. Car outside. Hold your line here. Hold the wheel. Stay low. Stay low.
All right, so we got a nice run through there. I got a little bit of room backed up the corner a little bit so that we could get a nice run off, and we'll pick up, hopefully, a couple more spots.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Stay on the bottom here for me. All right, careful now. Still there. Keep hitting your mark, man. You keep getting better. Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there.
Wow.
That car there's on your inside.
Oh, hello.
Inside.
Yeah, I guess you could get to our inside. Go right ahead.
All right, careful now. Still there.
So Burton, once again, decided he wanted that area more than we did.
Driver. Hold this line here.
Oh, look at that. Just cut us right off.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there. Stay low. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
And you can see, as what happened in front of us, Burton got chopped off as well by the truck directly in front of him. So it's not just me they're doing it to, they do it to each other.
Still there. All right, now you're clear. Wow, that's fast.
All right, let's go ahead and try the outside since things are getting spread out a little bit. Let's see if we have the speed to make some passes up here. All right, so it looks like we might, but we're certainly not just blowing by him.
Still there. Clear to your left. Clear all around.
All right, there we go. So we made that pass. That puts us into only 24th. So we've had to fight and claw for everything we've gotten so far. But now we got a little bit of open space. We might be able to use the high side some more. But as always, it's going to depend on just how much speed we have. compared to these guys we're racing
Stay
with.
low. Still there. Draw clear up top. Careful.
All right,
Still
so
there.
right now we have a good bit more speed than these guys in the corner.
Wow, that's fast.
So
Clear
getting
all
into the
around.
top 20 doesn't appear as though it's going to be a huge deal for us. But getting to that top 10 by the end of stage 1 might be a tall task. Okay, let's get by Josh Rayon.
Still there. All right, clear high, bud.
All right, there's Jennifer Jo Cobb. And let's see, are we going to be able to get to her inside? We are
You gotta
not.
focus here.
She's going to protect that nicely. So the name of the game right now is how far can we get on the outside before our speed is just not enough to make it happen? At what point in the field do we reach where they're not lifting near as much and our speed on the outside is no longer
All right, careful
sufficient
now. Still there.
to make up any more spots? And it appears as though we might be getting really close right now, because we have been unable to get by Jennifer Jo Cobb. Now she's getting some traffic. She's got Todd Gilliland right in front of her, who was slowing her down. So we should have an opportunity here to get by both of
Stay
them.
high, stay high. Still there. Bottom lane's clear. Bottom lane is clear.
All right, sailing right along up into 18th position now.
Hold your line. Stay up high. Stay high. Still there.
We're creeping in on that sweet spot.
Bottom lane's clear. Use it if you need it.
All right, again, he's telling me bottom lane is clear, and it was without question not clear.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
I
Clear
think
all
we're,
around.
yeah, I think we were 3 wide there, so I was trying to give everybody enough room just in case that was 3 wide. I wasn't sure, but it kind of looked like it from my mirror. So once again, easily wide open. Even with our reduced truck performance, we're easily wide open on this track.
Careful. Still there.
But you can clearly see the AI are not wide open in the corners, at least not at this point
Clear low.
in the
bud.
pack.
Clear low.
Oh, ouch, Justin. Ran us right into the wall off the corner, so that was very nice of him.
Hold your line. Stay up high. Stay high. Careful. Still there.
They
5
normally
more.
give you plenty of room on the outside like that. We've seen that on multiple occasions that they
Still
give you
there.
plenty of room, but for whatever reason, he decided not to this time. But these are all the issues that I
Careful.
hope
Still there.
get addressed before NASCAR Heat 4 with the AI, because the AI, in some respects, on certain tracks can be okay. They can be fun to race with. On other tracks, it's just a complete
All
disaster.
right, now you're clear.
Short tracks, in particular, can be a complete disaster. And oh, look at that. We've got a
Got
big
one down
wreck
low
up
now.
in
Got
front of
one
us.
down low. He's inside.
Now, that's got to bring out a caution, right? Because he hit that wall hard.
Inside.
But so far, nothing. Okay, maybe we're not going to get a caution.
Inside. All right, now you're clear.
Very confused as to why there was no caution there, because that was clearly a big wreck. I saw smoke at first. It looked like he overcorrected and went hard into the outside wall. At least that's what it looked like from my quick glances up there. But we stay green. I haven't seen the truck limping on the apron or anything, so I have no idea what happened. I guess it just disappeared.
Keep it going.
All right, so at the end of stage 1, we're going to find ourselves just outside the top 10. So it started out as very much a rough stage in trying to make up any ground with all the congestion, but by the end, we'll find ourselves just outside of the points paying spots. And we've got a pretty sizable gap both in front and behind us at this point. So no real opportunity to make a couple of passes unless these guys slow down considerably. Alright, so the stage will end. Let me see if I can get out of this corner before it does, though.
Nice driving.
There we go.
Driver.
The reason that's important is because when the game takes control of the car, it can be very violent on my force feedback, and that is not fun if I'm in a corner and then all of a sudden the wheel jerks to the center. That's no good, so I try to avoid that. No reason to pit here for what we're trying to accomplish. We could pit here and be done, but we're not going to, because that's going to make things more interesting when we get to stage 3. So, as expected, we'll pick up the lead.
All right, coming to the green. Almost ready. Car outside. Car outside.
All right, so that's going to put us at the front of the field, and this should be interesting to see. Can we hang here?
Still there.
Things turned out extremely well for us at Daytona. A huge payday and our first truck victory, so we'll see how things go at Atlanta. All right, let's see. Sargent, I'm gaining on him in the corner, running wide open, but not near as much as I was gaining on, say, 15th position. So that's a good sign. That means that these guys are running faster up front. But we're certainly still gaining on them. And you notice we've got a little bit of a gap here behind us right now. So it's just us and Dalton Sargent right now. And right now I can't catch him because we're wide open and he is fast enough in the corner that he's able to stay ahead of us. I'm going to try to draft him as best I can, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. Alright, so we've just run off and left third place. They are well behind us at this point. Alright, so this is kind of what I was afraid of going down to hard difficulty. The good news is we are not leading. That's the very good news, as odd as it is to say that. Because part of me was very afraid that we would get to the front and just run away with it, but that certainly doesn't seem to be an issue. We are keeping pace pretty good. You can see he's starting to pull away some now, but we're not a huge amount slower than him right now. We're able to make up enough in the corners to sort of keep pace. But yeah, we're running away from these guys behind us. Let's go ahead and bring up the leaderboard. And oh wow, they're closer than I thought. In my mirror, they look like they are well behind, but they're only about a second behind. So they're actually closer to me than I am to the lead. Okay, that's good. That's actually better news than I was expecting. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn that off. We don't really need the leaderboard lap after lap. Okay, 11 more laps in stage number 2 before we'll be pitting. Then it'll be interesting to see where that puts us on the grid and how many others pit. I'm not sure anybody else is going to pit, but we'll find out.
Keep digging. We have 10 to go.
All right, so at this point, I am secretly hoping that these guys behind us run us down. And the last, I think we've got, what did they say, 10 laps to go in this stage. I'm hoping that the last 7 or 8 laps can be a lot of fun. I'm not going to lift and allow them to catch up. We don't want to go that route. But I am certainly hoping that they can run us down. Let's see if they're getting any closer. Yes, indeed. They've cut the gap in half now, down to a half second, so they're coming. They must have gotten things straightened out, gotten single file, and moving back forward instead of fighting so much with each other for the position. All right, yeah, they're basically here at this point. The mirror is a bit deceiving at this point because they still look like they're a good bit behind us, but of course I know that's not the case any longer. Let's see, 21 is on our inside. And it appears as though he's going to have plenty of speed to go right by us. Let's see if that's the case.
Stay up high here. Stay up high. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
All right, yeah, he's going to motor right on by. And looks like he's going to bring some friends with him. Again, we haven't lifted at all.
Stay high. Careful. Still there.
I have not lifted since the restart. So we've had foot to the floor, and these guys, at first we pulled away from them. Again, I'm guessing that was because they were fighting with each other and slowing their pace down. But at this point, they have run us back down and have made the pass. So that's putting us just outside the top 5 now. So now that they've gotten by us, it looks like things have stabilized some. Let's see if we can get any of those positions back. It's going to be hard because they're running the extreme inside all the way. I mean, you can see how close they are to the white line all the way around the track. So it's going to be hard to get to their inside, and we don't have the speed to go by them on the outside. So hopefully they'll start fighting with each other and allow us to get back to them. Here we go, nice run.
All right, careful now, still there.
Once again, he's not going to give me the inside at all. He's going to block that aggressively. So if we're going to make up any positions, it's probably going to have to be on the top side, or I'm going to have to get physical with these guys and start moving them out of the way. which my guess is that would end up worse for us than it would for them. Look at that. You can see the 45 truck is, even all the way through the tri-oval, is right on the grass. And on the straightaway, once again, of course, this time he's trying to make a move to pass, but regardless, he is right down on the bottom.
All right, let's go. One lap. White flag is out.
Alright, so we're able to pull right up to him. Let's see if we can maybe get him to the inside of the 21. Nope, that's not going to work either. Maybe we can take advantage of the 21's blocking.
Still there.
And no, unfortunately not.
Top 10 that stage. That's worth a few points.
Alright, so 6th. That's a pretty good result. Actually, that puts us on speed. That seemed to be a pretty good match for us. So now we need to come in for our one pit stop. Let's go ahead and pit. We don't need full fuel, but it won't matter. So let's just go ahead and do the 2 cans. Tires, don't really need to change those, but we'll go ahead and do it, because the farther back we start, the more fun it's going to be in this final stage. So there we go. We end up, everybody moved up one position, of course, because we moved back a
Be ready
lot.
here.
So we're back to the back of the field. 65 laps total in the race. Let's see what we got. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be just a bit longer than a normal stage.
Inside.
Alright, so there we go. We're going immediately straight to the back. And now,
Hold your line.
of course, if we can catch them all wadded up like this, then we can make up some serious positions. But that's going to require us to go 3 wide, so let's get to it.
Clear all around.
At this point, we got nothing to lose. We've already got our victory,
All right, now you're clear.
so we're into the playoffs. Of course, we still need to get as many points as we
You got
can,
all the room you need, and you're clear.
but we can afford to take some chances now. And we already know we got more than enough speed to work our way through the back half of the field.
Clear all around.
And these guys are not giving each other any room. That 33 was
Hold a good
right
rudder, don't move.
on
Stay high. Careful.
the car to
Still
his
there.
inside. He was giving him no room whatsoever.
All right, careful now. Still there. Clear all around.
And that's really good news. As we talked about earlier, the AI don't just race us extremely aggressively, you know, cutting us off and blocking and those types of things. They do that to each other as well. So that tells me that some adjustments to the code would affect all of that and make the racing
20 laps
much
to go.
better.
Not that long.
It's very difficult to get the AI in a racing game to be at least decent, if not what you would consider to be good. Very few games have ever managed to do it.
Stay high, stay high. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
Of course, we know all of the focus these days is on multiplayer. Unfortunately, to the best of my knowledge, multiplayer has never thrived in the NASCAR Heat Series because I never see anybody online. Every time I check out the lobby, it always tells me 0 racers are online. There always ends up being several races run each day, but certainly not what I would consider to be very active. All right, so we've made our way up to 17th. in pretty short order. It hasn't taken us but maybe, what, about 5 laps or so to get to this point. And we've got several trucks immediately in front of us. If we can make those spots up, everything is starting to get strung out now, though. After 5 or 6 laps, these guys start to get single file, and then you have large gaps between the groups of trucks. But for us, we've still got plenty of speed to continue making up spots.
Clear all around.
At least as long as they don't go 3 wide in front of us.
Inside. Clear all around.
There we go. You can see the 16 lose momentum as he had a block thrown on him, so he had to get out of the gas. It gives us a nice little run.
Still there. All right, now you're clear. Hold your line. You got one inside. Hold your line. Still there.
All right, so things are starting to get tougher. The 13 truck, we haven't just been able to drive by him. And we know Jennifer Jo Cobb was tough the first time we got around her.
Bottom lane's clear. Use it if you need it.
All right, 15 more trips around. That's plenty of time to get up into the top 10 if we have the speed. Wow, you could see Jennifer Jo Cobb immediately go to the outside there. It was almost like she was taking evasive maneuvers. So 83 is blocking quite hard. And right now, I can't get by him. Jennifer Jo Cobb has me very leery of going to the outside of her because she's moving that truck around all over the place right now. But she certainly doesn't seem content to just ride. All right, if she could ever get to the inside of the 83, I would try to push her on by. But I'm just not sure that she can get there. Wow. You gotta love this. All right, that time I just sailed it in there.
Good wheel here. Don't move. Stay high. Still there.
Trying to get some sort of position on her. Oh, now we've got a caution flag. All right, so that'll bunch everything back up. Oh, looks like we're going to have some more wrecks under caution. Of course, we're not going to pit here. And apparently we're just going to pass all the cars, though. I have no control over the car, in case you're wondering right now. I'm not doing anything. Oh, and we've got a smoker in front of us. Is that...
Almost ready.
It looks like Grant Infinger that is smoking. Oh, look out. Big pile up. So we took some damage out of that. I was expecting the bottom side, the inside lane, to have some issues, but I did not expect us to have issues that quickly in the outside lane, so we paid the price. We'll have some damage now. So let's see if we can get up to speed and get back up and going. We should have made up some spots right there, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. All right, well, the good news for us is the damage can't really hurt our arrow very much because our arrow is at the minimum, so we've got that going for us. All right, I want to get to the top 10, if at all possible. That's not looking great at this point, but that would get us up there, back racing with Jennifer Jo Cobb again.
Stay high, stay high. All right, careful now, still there.
So we're going to have to crush them through the corners because they're crushing us on the straightaway.
All right, now clear low. Inside, inside, inside.
Alright, no, we just can't quite make up enough
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line
in
here.
the corners. I can hang in there with them, but boy, it is tough to pass them.
Still there. Bottom lane's clear. You
Alright, there we go. Finally got that pass done. That puts us into 11th. Alright, if we can get a great run on Snyder here, we'll try to pass him to the inside. Going into turn 3, can we get position? He doesn't want to give it
Still
to
there.
us, but we're already here.
All right, clear high, bud.
Alright, very nice. That was easier than I thought it was going to be.
5 to go. You got this.
Alright, only 5 more laps remaining. And unfortunately, we've got quite a bit of ground to make up before we get back to Jennifer Jo Cobb. I actually wish I could have seen where that caution flag came from, because I'd like to know if I could figure out the reason why it came out this time and not the first wreck I saw. Who knows, maybe the code doesn't throw a caution if only one car is involved in a wreck. Maybe that's what they're doing to try to keep cautions at a minimum. Because I believe in the accident I saw, I know one car hit the wall hard, but I don't remember seeing any other cars that were smoking or slowing down, spinning, anything like that. Alright, so right now, what I'm watching most of all is Jennifer Jo Cobb in front of us. We know how aggressive she was before that caution came out, and I want to see just how aggressive she's going to be in trying to make up those spots here in the last few laps. She's trying that high side. Unfortunately, she's not getting anywhere.
2 to go, driver. 2 to go.
Alright, 2 more laps, and I'm going to have to remind myself to drive my truck and not just totally fixate on the battle in front of me. Because we have a lot of room behind us and a good bit of room before we catch anyone. So the action for me is immediately in front of us.
White flag. Bring it home.
Alright, so far nothing really has happened. Jennifer Jo Cobb is moving around a little bit, trying to make something happen. There you can see her going to the outside. So our goal in this final stage was to get back to the top 10, and we just were able to make that happen. We'll come home in 10th. I'll certainly take that. Not quite as much close racing as I would have preferred, but we did have some moments where we were fighting it out. So Austin Hill gets his very first win of the season. So now that makes him looking very nice for the playoffs. So we'll bring home $27,800 for our 10th place finish, plus our team and merch payouts. So now we're up to selling 2 or 3 t-shirts during a weekend. All right, point standings. We are currently sitting in 3rd as the last of the 2 winners. But we'll certainly take that. 3rd place in points after 2 races. All right, let's go ahead and head back to the main screen. Let's see if Twitter has any feedback for us. This ought to be interesting. We certainly had some contact with some other trucks. All right, let's see. Chase Elliott congratulating us. We've just reached 500 fans. And Mike Snyder says we did a good job. All right, so no mean comments this time. That's odd. We've gotten so used to seeing mean comments. All right, so up next is week 6, and we're going to Vegas. Now, this is going to be a tough one. Vegas is notorious for having very bad AI as far as speed goes. So this is going to be a tough balance. We'll probably try out the max difficulty again first and see how that works out. But if we have to go to hard difficulty, I have my doubts that they can keep up with us. Hopefully I'm wrong on that, and hopefully we have some really great racing. But we'll do that in our next video. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our career mode series of NASCAR Heat 3.